Usually they got 2 twos and 3 threes, but
Here's the handshake, and it looks like they're starting the game. And
yeah, Craig won the die roll, so he leads off with a stomping ground and no turn 1 play.
Traveler.
Yeah, Chris does have a turn 1 play, so already kind of an edge here. But Craig has a Thalia ready to go. That's what he'll lead off with. Craig's got all his colors. Chris has all his colors. Oh, no, he doesn't have blue yet. But I don't see any blue cards in his hand yet either. Looks like he drew an Entreat the Angels. Chris also has a Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was Esper tokens this whole time. It looks like it's just black-white tokens.
Just black-white.
We're going to update the title there at the top of the screen.
Here's his 1/1.
I just want my Esper token, or my tokens decks to play Drogskall Captain. I don't need blue for anything else.
I see a Vault of the Archangels here. Sorin, too.
Yeah, Sorin's in hand, relevant. Ready to go, but Frontline Medic will keep even Vault of the Archangels from killing any of Craig's creatures in combat once he can hit the battalion.
Craig got a lot of great cards against Chris. He drew them early.
Yes.
Which is...
Thalia is strong, but not, GG by any means.
No, but Chris doesn't play particularly a ton of land.
Yeah, paying 3 mana for a gather the townsfolk's not ideal.
Yeah. And when you can't play double token producers in 1 turn, it's going to slow him down.
Yeah.
Especially with that first striking.
No, that's Craig's hand. What was the red card we were just looking at? I think it might have been the promo Searing Spears, which would mean there's 2 of them.
There's a Flint Hoof Boar.
Yeah, but the hasted Flint Hoof Boar will get things going. And the battalion trigger means nothing will die in combat here for Craig. So Chris into some immediate trouble.
3, 4, 7.
Actually 3, 6, 8. So Chris will drop that at 12.
And here is the vault for Chris. His hand.
Can't play Sorin, so he's probably just on a Midnight Haunting plan here for the end step.
I mean, if he does play the Sorin in plus...
Well, he physically can't.
Oh.
Yeah, Thalia. We could make it cost 5.
That's correct.
Gets the Doom Traveler out. It's a chump blocker he can use and then still have an attacker the next turn.
It looks like Chris doesn't treat the Angels as well.
Yeah, unfortunately he drew that already. Yeah. But we're going to get some chump blocks here. And Chris will be left after this combat with 3 1/1s. And he's going to take 2 damage, drop down to 10.
An Intangible Virtue right here would be kind of nice. It would allow him to swing for 4 and keep back the blockers.
And a Champion of the Parish for Craig.
He seems to be stuck on some land, too.
He's got all he needs. All he's got is Searing Spear, Boros Elite in hand. So
all he needs, which is good. I mean,
yeah.
If he's all he's trying to do is rip low-cost guys. What did he just play?
Who's that? Oh, Intangible Virtue.
So he did have the Intangible Virtue. Do we know if he swung for...
I believe he attacked for 6. Well, actually...
It would have been probably 4.
It would just been a 1/1 Champion of the Parish. Yeah, we'll have to get a life totals check here. As Craig plays the Boros Elite to grow the Champion of the Parish. And he drew the Sun Petal Grove, so it should just be the 2 burn spells in hand. Searing Spear. FNM promos to make sure that we're on top of our game, knowing what everything is here. I think as Chris continues to have problems with the unblockable army on Craig's side. And let's see. Looks like Chris is going with the active turn here, trying to see what he's going to do. He's got 4 power in the air. He's going to be looking to attack with at least. I'm sorry, he's blocking. It's quite a long blocking choice here, but Chris will throw away the 2 tokens, leave himself 1. And that means he took 4 damage. Yep, so 10 to 10 are the life totals. Yep, I'm sorry, so it would be 14 to 6. Yep, Chris isn't going to be able to get that one, so we'll set the life totals back to 20, and Craig will take game 1 here. So bear with us as we quickly make some changes here to the top heading. A little short-handed. I'm a little bit alone in the booth. Vince is manning the controls here for a couple minutes, still able to talk to you, though. And we'll mark Chris with the 1-0 lead, or I'm sorry, with Craig with the 1-0 lead. As we take a look at what their sideboard decisions here might be. We look at Craig's sideboard. He's got 2 Gruul Charm, 3 Pacifism, 2 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Fiend Hunter, 3 Boros Reckoner, and 3 Boros Charms. Against the black-white tokens deck, might see him make a move towards some Fiend Hunters. I think those are obviously very strong cards. And the Gruul Charm is another one. You know, Chris has the flyers in the air that the Gruul Charm will just kill, or, hey, let's make your army of 1/1 blockers not able to block.
There's not too much that Chris looks like he could bring in.
We'll continue to look at the sideboarding decisions here while we get ourselves resituated some. But in Chris's sideboard here, he's got 2 Oblivion Rings, an ultimate price, a Sever the Bloodline, 2 Purify the Grave, 2 Rest in Peace, 3 Appetite, and 4 Duress. So really the ultimate price, the Sever, and the O-Ring are the likely targets. And not sure how many of each he's going to be looking to bring in.
And it just seems like Sever the Bloodline might be a little too slow.
A little bit, depends on what the bad cards here are in the matchup, obviously. You know, most of them are fine. He wants the life gain that the things like Sorin give him, even though it's a little bit on the slower side. He's not getting rid of his tragic slips anytime soon. Maybe Rootborn defenses in the main. There's 3 of them in the main board that'll likely come out. And personally, I'd be taking out like Increasing Ambition. Maybe some number of Entreat the Angels, but I haven't played with that card in so long I couldn't even tell you how it is in the format or you know, this matchup.
Drawing that early in this matchup is putting a couple 4/4s out.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to easily be able to block.
Right, it's like almost best on turn 3.
Yes.
Right.
And if you know, luck has it that he gets on turn 3, turn
Well,
4.
Turn 3 is like what? Because it's white, 1 colorless, and then X when you miracle.
Yeah.
So maybe turn 4 or something. Yeah.
On 2.
Well, it would even have to be turn 5 then in order to have that mana, because if you draw it on, you know, if you miracle it on turn 4, you're only going to have 3 mana out.
Yeah, Chris has no way to ramp his mana.
But the bottom line is that no matter when Chris draws it, if he can even put an X of 1 behind it, he's just going to miracle that card.
I feel like this is going to come down to, does Chris draw Lingering Souls, you know, in a kind of an abundance, because his 1 Lingering Souls can take down 2 creatures.
Yeah, that game he had a lot of token generators. He did not, however, have a way to kind of I guess what am I trying to say here? He didn't have a way to, you know, take a bunch of damage on 1 turn, so that way he could start to vault.
Yeah, the vault was just the Naya blitz was it blitzed too fast.
Yeah, the frontline medic really was the main game.
Yeah.
He could combine a couple tokens and make some good trades if it wasn't for Indestructible on Craig's entire team.
Especially with the intangible virtue.
Yeah.
You know, having 4 2/2s, you know, being able to make a couple of them on to kill him, and then even the 3/3s can only kill 1 of your tokens.
Yeah, and you know, Chris has been running the FNMs a little bit here, from my understanding, at GameCore with this tokens deck, so the locals are very, very familiar with it. It's new to me personally, as I'm being from Buffalo. I don't get to come down here for FNM, try to save it for the bigger tournaments. Like today, winning $1,000 brings some people from outside the area in to come play, and
the parish on side.
Starts off the board presence. Chris deciding between an intangible virtue and I'm not sure what the other choice is here. Ultimate price for the champion. He says go. I would have, I think, laid the virtue most often there. Something you don't want to do later, and he's so hurting for blockers as Craig drops down to 18 life.
Yeah, because of an intangible virtue now and a top deck lingering souls there.
And Burning Tree Emissary. A couple silly things happen when you play Burning Tree Emissaries.
Like
into a Mayor of Avabrook. Now Chris looking like a genius here, saving a whole bunch of damage. Keeping himself at 18. Or I'm sorry, keeping himself at 20. And
missed the land.
Yeah.
And he drew a land.
Now, it could be okay because Craig keeps drawing land, right? Like 4 mana is really officially too much for this Naya Blitz deck. Like, no, I'm good at 2.
Well,
That's a Rampager there. Look,
Yeah.
maybe even a second Mayor of Avabrook. But, and really, since Chris didn't have the luxury to, as Craig pays 2 more life, goes down to 16. Craig really didn't have the luxury to, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted by some things going on in the room here. Chris didn't have the luxury to play the intangible virtue in his mind, and then it gave him the ability to play it and not flip the mayor. So, as soon as Chris can get some tokens here, he's going to be in business. As they'll all be 3/3s with vigilance, and trade with a boar, trade with a flipped flipped mayor, and just outright kill a Burning Tree Emissary.
It looks like he's about to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, that'll be 3, 4, 7 here.
If he decides to anything with the core clan.
And Craig drops down to 14.
I believe he drew a Cavern of Souls, another land.
Okay, so we're going to Blood Rush, so it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 damage total as Crystal drops straight down to 9 life. And he scoops him up. I don't know if you looked at the card. Craig showed him some burn for next turn.
He
like
had
there was
Searing
just
Spear in his hand.
yeah, there was